Has your 12-year-old son stumbled across pornography? Well, let's talk about it today on Tips on Teens. My name is Kent Toussaint. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist, and I specialize in helping kids, teens, and families live happier lives. I lead two organizations, the group Private Practice Teen Therapy Center and the nonprofit 501c3 organization Child and Teen Counseling, both here in Woodland Hills, California. Every Wednesday at noon, I answer your parenting questions here on Facebook Live. Let's jump into today's question. Recently, I began to suspect that my son has started watching porn on his computer. He's 12, and because of COVID and distance learning, he's had a lot more screen time alone in his room than we would like. I work from home and have a lot of Zoom meetings. Recently, I checked in on him, and his bedroom door was locked, and when he came out, he had a guilty look on his face. I felt like something was going on. I'd really like to check his browser, but I don't want him to think I don't trust him. Should I talk to him about it, even though I don't know if he's doing it? I don't want to give him any ideas, and also I'm really uncomfortable about it. If I do talk to him, what should I say? Wonderful question. I love this question because it's not about if you should talk to your kid, it's how you should talk to your kid. Absolutely, you should talk to your kid about this. It's a big topic. This is a whole workshop conference, type of question. But we only have a few minutes, so I'm going to do the best I can to address these questions. First and foremost, educate your kids on sex and sexuality from an early age. As soon as they start asking, where do babies come from? As soon as when you're giving them a bath, start educating them about differences between male bodies, female bodies, all the different kinds of bodies. Make sure they're talking about that. Make sure they're educated on what sex is. Just not only the basics of the biology of it, but also just the relationship, respect, consent, sharing, all these things that involve dignity and respect and caring that go into a healthy sexual life. I think it's important to be talking about these things. So when your teenager or your adolescent or your kid stumbles across pornography, which they most likely will because everyone's got a screen in front of them, and no matter how many restrictions you have on those screens, they're going to come across something either at home or at someone's house, and so they're going to be confronted with it. So at middle school age, especially by then, you really want to start talking to them about what pornography is and isn't. It is a stylized, very amplified version of what is sexuality. It is not an actual depiction of what sexuality is. And I think it's important that they understand these things. The more they understand sex and sexuality on a basic fundamental level, pornography becomes less of a taboo and less interesting. If you do come across your kid and the laptop's open and it's right there and you see it, don't panic, stay calm. Don't have this as a way to get mad or angry or upset or shame. This is a great time to talk to your kid about what he or she is feeling in this situation. What does it mean to them to look at this? How does it help? How does it hurt? Also, it's important to talk to them about how pornography can skew one's perception of what is sex and sexuality. It can create a very skewed version with violence and disrespect, and we want to make sure we want to gear our kids more towards a place of healthy sexual expression. Sex is normal, sex is healthy, it's a part of being human, and just because your kid is 12 doesn't mean he's not having sexual thoughts and feelings. Most likely he probably is, and if he's having strong sexual feelings and he goes in his room or the bathroom and does what 12-year-old boys do, that's fine, that's normal. You may need to talk to him, especially, let's say, for example, your kid is on the spectrum and misses some social cues and misses how what he does affects other people. You may need to talk to him about making sure he cleans up after himself. I know you think that sounds weird and disgusting and ooh, but these are real conversations that real parents have to have with real kids. And it's really important we're talking and educating your kids, especially kids who may be on the spectrum and maybe have a hard time understanding the nuances of all this. So talk. And if you are uncomfortable, it's really important that you're doing your work for yourself to find out how to understand this in a better way. It's a huge topic. Down below are a couple websites I have for some books. Robbie Harris is an author and illustrator. I know she's not the illustrator, but she is the author. Her website's down there. She has great books for teaching kids about sex and sexuality for many different ages. There's another book list that I found. It had just a ton of books to scroll through. But Robbie Harris is one of my favorites. There's so much more that I probably could have put on there. But talk to your kid. Do not be afraid of this. Because if you are, and your 12-year-old is being exposed to pornography, then who is your kid going to go to talk about it? Is it you or the internet? And the internet is not going to be the safe place to go. So it's really important that you have these conversations, not once, but many times. Make sure they have these books in the room. So if they don't want to talk to you about it, at least they have the book in the room, they can talk about it. Also, if your kid's really curious about naked bodies, there's plenty of tasteful nude art out there that you can find. It's on Google. You can find it anywhere you want. And you can pick and choose what you think is appropriate to show what is an appropriate vision of what a female body is, what a male body is, what these things are. It's really important to take the taboo out of it. When we take the taboo out of it, it becomes less interesting. So this is a huge topic. Again, I can talk for a whole hour about this, but you don't have an hour on FaceTime to watch me. So I'm just going to leave it there. Thank you so much. We have a few seats left for our parent workshop next Wednesday at 7 p.m. over Zoom called Quarantine. All your quarantine questions and parenting questions answered. We have a few spots left. If you're interested, please register ASAP and go to the website down below and register today. We probably will be filled up by the end of the week. And hope to see you there. Again, my name is Kent Toussaint with Teen Therapy Center and Challenging Counseling. This is Tips on Teens, and we'll see you next Wednesday at noon on Facebook Live. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.